Beloved family, I just wanted to share this really cool story with you guys about God's goodness. I've been engaged in His goodness so often and just staying in that frequency and that love and that vibration and that mindset and that consciousness and that revelation, whatever term you need to hear to sink in, that if you're staying there and you're aware of that, it transforms your life. So I was at this church and I was sitting there and I got to talk to one of the pastors who's going to Northern Ireland, and it was so cool. As we were talking about it, he was mentioning that like going on a mission trip, it's going to be a lot of money and this and that, and there's going to be fundraising going on to pay the way, and and I shared this revelation because it's been wrecking me so much to where I'll show up to a business interview and just the grace of God flows, money flows, contracts flow, and I'm just sitting there not doing anything, just peaceful, and money's just jumping into my pockets. And I'm thinking, God, this is so cool. Where there's no stress, there's no pressure, there's just trusting you, and people like want to be a part of that because they just sense it. And as I was sharing about God's goodness, I said, I know you know this, but just start engaging it, enjoy, jump in that river of His thoughts towards you, and just start saying, thanks for being good to me, thanks for loving me. you know we're not buying God off, we're not trying to weasel and find a new gimmick to get Him to give us stuff, but this is just a way to receive what He's been thinking and wanting to give you this whole time. So as I shared it with him, he went off and went to the prayer room, and a few minutes later, I hear him running out of the prayer room screaming, and he runs and scans the room and he finds me. He runs and just starts looking at me and shaking me and like, hey, God's so good. He's so good. His goodness, His goodness. And he's freaking out. And I was like, yeah, I know. I'm the one who told you He's good. And as I've been sharing it, the cool part that happened, he says all the money that I needed, it was like over 20,000 or something, just came in instantly. And it covers everything that he would need and then some. And he's like, oh my goodness, I thought I was going to need to do fundraising. I thought I was going to need to do this and that. And His goodness just showed up. And I was like, well, don't stop. His goodness is just going to keep flowing. God's goodness is so amazing. He so wants to give this to you. And it doesn't come through, well, I paid my tithe and now God owes me. Because a lot of times people can get stuck in a mindset that if I do something, then He has to do something. And we try to like wheel and deal and do these things with God instead of realizing that He's so good and wants to give us exceeding abundant to where we just melt, and then He just keeps giving us goodness and we just stay in there. And it just wrecks us. And I love His goodness so much. I could use the word love or compassion or other words like that, but the reason I like goodness is it's not a overused word as love is. And His goodness, the Bible shares, causes us to want to change and repent and think differently and stand at the pinnacle of our life and see things clearer. But too many times we think, well, life stinks, things don't go my way, things can fall apart in my life, and it's like it doesn't matter anymore. Nowhere in the Bible promised you, nothing will go wrong kind of stuff. Things can go wrong. Things might not always work out, but He did promise you to have victory in a life within yourself to where you can overcome all things. And I started realizing that my whole day could be messed up. Nothing works out. Everything's a mess. I was painting, and this really nasty oil-based primer stuff, that thing makes you high. I was wearing a mask. It bled through the mask at the end of the day to where the mask doesn't work anymore, and I'm high as a kite, and I need to leave, and then the paint spills all over the floor, and I'm like, man, I gotta clean this up, and then I'm trying to move, and I got a little bit to go, and just everything keeps falling apart, and I can feel the normal frustration, the normal anger, the normal anxiety try to rise up in my heart that I used to have. And I can feel it rising, and you know what? It just gets crushed by the goodness and the love of God. And I start realizing, like, wow, the gospel is so good that even when things don't work out and don't go your way, His life is still a million times stronger than anything else, and it just overwhelms you. And then I'm just laughing how, like, nothing can ruin my day. Nothing can make it horrible. And when everything falls apart and things break and just nothing works out, or you ever try to be on a computer, and I used to hate dealing with certain things on a computer when the computer crashes and you lose your password, you can't get it back, you're trying to send another email to another address, and just the frustration of not fixing something, that frustration just clams you up and gets you so like, oh, why are you not working? Why is it so difficult? And you start feeling that frustration. I used to get that all the time when I did computer work. That's why I hated computer work. And I can feel that frustration rising, and then his goodness just overtakes me, and I'm just like, oh my God, I don't even care. I'm born again. And it's like I got born again, the best way I can say it. And I finally seen it for the first time. And I've had little inklings of it throughout my life, but now it's like a daily thing where I'm like, nothing can bother me or hurt me or destroy me or distract me and ruin my day. It can't. It shows up, it tries, and it's just like it has no place. All I see it as just something that's not as important as him. And I just engage him, and he just changes everything. God's that good, guys. Yeah, he's amazing. And we love you guys. And I just want you to just keep engaging him, because there's so many testimonies. I'm starting to enjoy it more and more, and I'm seeing fruit not only in my life, but everyone we encounter. I want everyone to see us and be like, well, you know, when I see you, I see the Father. I see Jesus. And I'm like, good, you received me. Yes, I receive you. Good, then you receive Jesus. And you receive the Father who sent him. That's the cool part, when people see our life and it totally transforms their life. And you're like, I'm not even doing anything. And when people try to thank us or say something, it almost feels weird. Like, stop thanking me. It's just normal. We're just normal. Stop, trying to say thank you. And they're like, it's just, you're amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And it's like, it's not a big deal. It's like nothing to me. But it is everything. Just the simple acts of love that we encourage you guys, that he's in you, he's enough, and everything that you've been looking for, you already have it. Just go be love. And when you go love people, you realize, wow, I'm just like him. Everything that you need is already in you. Just start loving people, and you'll realize I have way more and enough to just do things. You don't need money. You just need that little step to just like, hey, I see someone. Maybe I'll just go say, hey, how you doing? You don't walk up to a stranger and be like, let me pray for you. Just say hi. What's your name? How you doing? What you doing here? What's going on? You okay? And just be a friend to them and love them. And when love's your motive, maybe opportunities to pray might come up. Maybe opportunities to give them some money or feed them or serve them or connect with them or just be a friend. And you'll be surprised how small, simple acts of love change the world. Not, I'll be president and I'll make new policies that'll fix the world. It's like, no, you'll try to plug one hole and you'll make 100 others. You'll try to fix one nation and you'll ruin another. It's like we try to do so much good in our own ability, but we so need to see that we're one with him. And that's what's been changing my life and my heart. And I desire all to really engage and encounter this reality that he's in you. You're one with him. He paid such a high price to be one with you. And Jesus prayed that prayer, Father, man, that they might be one in us, that they might see, that they might receive, that this might become a reality to them. And I'm glad I found it. And I think my wife likes me a little better because I'm seeing it, and we're getting to become better friends, I guess. We start to enjoy one another more, and we're not like bickering over small things, because things aren't as important as him, And I desire that for you guys, to keep seeing Christ in yourself, that you're like him, that you're one with him. And when you see that's who you are, you'll start seeing that in others. And I was talking to a friend, and I was saying, hey, what happened to so-and-so? Oh, he's an atheist. He doesn't believe in God. He walked away from God. He's mad. And I said, well, how do you talk to him? He's like, I talk to him like he's the son of God. I call the life out of him. I say, you still have a calling. You're still amazing. You're still such a strong man of God. And he's like, no, I'm not. I hate God. I don't believe in him. And she's like, yeah, I just see the best. And I speak life and truth about him. And I said, then why do we meet others who we don't know and we tell them you're sinners, you're wretched, you're miserable, God hates you, you're going to hell? Like, why do we do that? Why can't we call truth out and call them into, like, dude, you're a lost son. You don't realize who you are. And they're like, well, I've been trying, but I'm stuck. It's like, well, get born again. Let that old life go and get a new life. Realize that he's in you and you're one with him. But a lot of people, they just don't know. And a lot of people might ask the question, well, if God's so good, why is there so much sin in the world and bad stuff? And I'm going to ask, well, if there's so much soap in the world, why is everyone still dirty? Either they haven't had access to it, no one ever told them about it, no one ever preached it or brought it or gave it to them. So I think it's our thing, our privilege to live a life that's so amazing. And walking with God and doing everything with him, it just feels effortless because he's with you and he does the work as you just surrender and enjoy. So I bless you guys and wish you guys to have a wonderful day and to enjoy him and just start saying thanks for loving me. Thanks for being so good. You're just so good to me. Thanks for being so amazing. We love you guys. Thank you, beautiful family on YouTube.